I hate socializing and I hate the fact that I hate socializing. So, if you're also introverted or if you're extroverted, if you have no problem whatsoever with socializing, this episode is for you. If you're an extroverted, you need to help us. If you're introverted, let me know how you feel as well. Come have a seat at the adults table and let's talk about socializing. I'm Fernanda Rodriguez, and welcome to the adults table. A few months ago, I recorded an episode about making friends as an adult. And there, I already shared some of my feelings and thoughts around making friends and socializing in general. But that one is more specifically around making friends. And that topic has still, been a key challenge for me in the past few years. I don't know if it's because I moved countries. So, I mean, I moved abroad 7 years ago. So I've been, away from my friends for a long time. But when I moved from Brazil to Colombia, I already found kind of a group pretty easily and pretty quickly. So I didn't used to challenge myself as much as I do now and second guess myself and think about socializing. It might also be because I'm 30 years old now. So I feel like going through so many different processes in life and internal processes, you start to rediscover certain things about yourself and what you care about and what you really value. Whether that might be in friendships and socializing, whether that might be in relationships, in your career. So, as all of these terms change in your mind, I think it's expected that the dynamics are also going to change and that the way that how you feel towards it is also going to change. So I feel like I'm in this transitional moment that I'm facing a lot of opposites inside of me when it comes to socializing. And I want to try to elaborate on this today and explain how I feel because I'm curious if other people feel the same and what are some of the things that you've done to find yourself and navigate this moment. And again, if you're an extroverted, then tell us, how you see the world and how you see socializing. Because for me, I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself that I have to socialize more and I have to put myself out there more and I have to meet more people. And at the same time, another side of me is like, I don't want to do it. I'm okay with the friends that I have. I'm happy with my friends. I'm fine. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy to meet more people because comes the weekend, I'm always like just happy to chill, see a couple of friends, spend time with my fiance, do the things that I love, and I'm happy. So I have this pressure inside of me that is like, I should be doing more, but I also don't feel like doing more. So it becomes a question of, okay, am I trying to protect myself of some sort of rejection? Or should I just own the fact that, yeah, I don't love socializing all the time and that's fine. I can just focus on my current friends and things that I enjoy doing. So I feel like I've labeled myself as someone who doesn't enjoy socializing and doesn't enjoy meeting new people and being around as many people. But then another thing that I started to challenge myself on was, do I really not like that? Or don't I like certain places and certain people and certain activities? Because there's a difference between not enjoying to be around people at all and not meeting new people at all and just not enjoying being in certain places. So for me, if I'm meeting you or meeting more people at, I don't know, a dinner, a workout class, I don't know, if you go on a walk or there's a group of women who, I don't know, it's like a book club. Awesome. I think I'm going to enjoy it. And I usually do because I also have a deep, deep interest in people. So to me, is like a paradox because on one hand, I'm like, I don't like to be in this situation. I feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, I'm really curious about people and interested in people. So then I start to think, okay, maybe it's just the type of people and the types of groups and where I'm finding these groups. So when I think of these events, I'm excited. But then when I think about, I don't know, going to get drinks or going to a club or even like going to someone's birthday party where I know a couple people and there are going to be, dozens of other people there. Like that freaks me out a little bit or that makes me uncomfortable, or I don't know, let's go on a trip and then there are gonna be people that I don't know. That bothers me. So, and I feel like it's starting to be more. I feel like back in the day, and I've been trying to kind of be very realistic about this as well, because I sometimes I think that, okay, back in the day, my social life was more active, and it definitely was. But I try to also be honest with myself and understand that it was active for some reasons, that today my life is just different. So, for example, one of the reasons why I used to go out more than I do today was to meet someone. I wanted to meet someone. Therefore, I had to get out of the house. I had to go to clubs. I had to go to, all of these situations because I wanted to meet someone. But I remember being there and feeling miserable, feeling like I cannot wait to get home. And then I would blame myself and be like, oh, but I should be enjoying the time with my friends. And I used to, when it was like, and I still do when it's like parties of some type of music or artist that I enjoy, that I'm gonna have the time of my life. I'm gonna be the last one to leave the place. But if it's not, if it's just like, oh, let's go out, then I really don't like, I just don't like it, And it used to be like that back in the day. I used to force myself into it because I wanted to meet someone. But now that I've been in a relationship for 7 years and I'm with someone who enjoys doing the same things as I do, it is so comfortable and so easy and so awesome, to be honest, to be able to do these things every weekend or even on the weekdays, things that we enjoy doing as a couple and not have to do, all the clubbing anymore and so on and so forth. So that is one of the reasons. The second reason is I feel like since I moved to the US, so I was in Colombia before and I had a pretty large group of friends there. And we used to do, every weekend I would see them, we would do different things, or even during the weekday, I could just call a friend and be like, hey, come over, let's do something. I had a shitty day at work, whatever. And here in the US, I feel like objectively, it has been more difficult for me to build certain connections. I think that's a fact on one hand. On the other hand, I feel like I also have, I have found people who I've made a connection with, and I sometimes don't see that because I am putting so much pressure on myself into, oh, I have to have more friends, I have to have this, I have to have that, that sometimes I just don't see the fact that yes, hey, I have amazing friends here. So I feel like those parts make me think that, oh, I used to be this person who I enjoyed this, but ultimately, realistically, I didn't. And I also had a different setting in different countries. So at this point, I feel like there are two sides of me, right? There's one side that is like, yes, I am craving this connection and I'm craving these social moments. And another side of me that is like, but I don't like this, which brings me to the point that is, I have to redefine what socializing means to me and what making friends looks like. And this is something that I was thinking more and more this weekend of like, how do I create a structure for myself that feels more authentic and that I'm also able to break this shield that I can put up sometimes of, okay, I want connection, but I also run away from it, right? Because I don't know. Again, I think especially when you're in a different country, it's something that is harder to navigate. So I've been thinking more and more about this and some things that I've landed on so far. So please let me know your thoughts as well. But the first one is I think as we grow older, it's really important to redefine your concept of socializing. So, what does that look like for you? Is socializing saying yes to everything? Is socializing just simply being around people? Or is socializing being around people that make sense? Being around people who can add something to your life? Being selective as to when to be around people? So I think as we grow older, it becomes more about quality than quantity. We all talk about it, everyone talks about it. But ultimately, we're like, what does that look like? Right? So is it really, even if it's like for 30 minutes, for an hour, seeing someone who you have a connection with or someone who you can potentially build a connection with? So that is one of the things that I've been thinking more about. Instead of trying to subscribe to an idea of what socializing is and what it should be, I think we have to find it on our own, what it makes sense to us. So you can be truthful and like aligned to that and know what to say yes to and what to say no to. The other thing is that I started to notice that the problem is not, or the goal is not that I wanted more people, but I wanted more connection. And that is different because I can have 4 people in my life that I have a deep connection with, and that's enough. And I can have 100 friends in my life that I have an okay connection with, and that won't fulfill me, right? So I know that I'm not a person who needs large groups because I don't like to do many things that require large groups in the first place. And I personally have a hard time navigating friendships in a very large group. I've always been this way. And that's okay, right? So coming to terms with that fact, I also think I think is also important, right? Like coming to terms with the fact that, yeah, I'm not a person who likes X, Y, and Z. I don't enjoy my time when I do X, Y, and Z, and that's fine. Like I can do it every now and then, every once in a while when it makes sense. If it's a friend's birthday party, whatever. So I will challenge myself to be in that position, even though I don't enjoy it. But I think we have to own it as well. Like it's okay. Yeah, you don't like to do it. Whatever. You don't like to club. Whatever. Great. Because I think that we get more disappointed in ourselves and sad because we think we should want it versus to not have gone to it in the first place and miss something, right? So that fear of missing out is not because it matters to me, but because I feel like in order to fit in or to be seen as a certain thing, I should be there. I should want to be there. So I think we have to let go of that and start owning more, again, what socializing means to us. And then going back to the connection aspect, what I realized in my life is that, to be quite frank, I don't do the best job at keeping in touch with people that I like. I don't. And that's something that I have to admit to myself. And that's something that I have to work on. Right. So if I prefer connection in quantity over, or in quality over quantity, then you have to start changing the dynamics a little bit as well. So, how do you show up more often to the people that you have a connection with, to the people that matter to you? And for me, being away from many of my friends, that sometimes it's hard because it's not just like, "Hey, come over, let's do something," or "I can go over and do something." Like, you have to find other ways to be present, and that can be very challenging. But you have to own the fact that that's the reality, right? So this is the reality that I'm in. This is what our dynamic looks like. So what can I do to be more present? What can I do to find that connection? That can be calling them, more often. That can be traveling to see them more often. So I feel like the moment that you start putting your energy into what you actually value, then that pressure of, oh, it should be different also changes because you feel like you're getting something from it, which in this case is that connection. The other point is putting ourselves in those uncomfortable situations that, yeah, maybe you're going to a place that you don't know everybody or you don't know anyone, but based on the setting, it sounds like, or it seems like those people might make sense, might be people that you want to, meet. Because at the end of the day, we need people, right? Even though you might get uncomfortable socializing, and a lot of that can come from, again, just you not being in the right place, but a lot of that can come from a fear of connection, right? A fear of being seen a certain way. But I think it's important that we start seeing it for what it is, right? And start kind of finding ways of fulfilling that need for connection. So, the other point, just to kind of wrap things up, is that to me, I feel like one thing that I tend to do is when I get uncomfortable in these social settings, I kind of shut down a little bit in a way that, like, you can see it in my body, right? So I kind of like my shoulders are more like this. I'm not making eye contact to people. And one thing that has been helping me a lot is awareness. Simply just awareness of understanding when I get uncomfortable, am I able to recognize that I'm getting uncomfortable right then, right in that moment, not after it's passed, but right then in that moment. Because once you do, you can remind yourself and be like, okay, wait a second, let me work on my body image. Not my body image. What's it called? Let me work on my body language. Let me work on that. Let me start making eye contact with people. Let me go back to the situation versus, kind of zoning out a little bit. So that awareness has been helping me a lot because I feel like when you're kind of afraid of that sort of connection, that's what you kind of zone out, and bringing yourself back to the present into that particular moment, at least for me, it's helping me a lot. Just that awareness. So to wrap things up, I think it really comes down to redefining what socializing means to you, owning what that means, and being okay with everything that you lose. Yeah, you're not going to be part of, I don't know, maybe, this clubbing night. You're not going to go, great, but like, that's fine. Own your decisions. A lot of the suffering is because you're wrestling with what you think you should do, right? So I think that, and then showing up for people who you have a connection with and maintaining those connections, we have to put more time and effort into it and challenging ourselves when it applies. Tell me what else you do. Tell me if you also feel this way. I would love to hear more of your thoughts. And thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode at the Adults Table.